Welcome. Welcome to RealityTeam TV. First of all, I want to say, off camera, thank you so much for the beautiful CMOS that you just shared with me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It tasted amazing. The blueberries. Even let's get straight into it. What have we just tasted off camera? Could we tell the people what we've just tasted?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Georgia's Wholesome Kitchen.
Yeah.
I make CMOS meal replacements. So they're 100% organic.
Yeah.
I use organic CMOS crafted. And loads of antitoxins or nutritious.
Yeah.
And I replace meals with them so that you can get all the nutrition that you need.
Absolutely.
Really easy and tasty and delicious. And feel pumped afterwards.
Like me. So let's take the people straight back here. Back from right, very, very, very all the way back here. What is your background?
Okay, I used to be a lecturer, English lecturer in FE in college.
Yeah.
I got to a point in my life where I was really unhealthy, and my parents and family members were dying, and loads were with health issues. So I was caring for people for quite a while.
Yeah.
And they were dying, and it, took its toll on me. Because when you're caring for elders, you kind of neglect yourself.
Yeah.
So I'd neglected myself for quite a while, and it all come crumbling down. I buried my elder sister, Charmaine, and that was like a 2-year, 3-year nursing period. And at the end of that, I sat down and I actually had time to grieve and rest. And then I got really sick myself.
Okay.
So it was like the minute I stopped from being really busy, caring for all these others, putting myself in the background.
You start falling ill yourself.
Yeah, and I had a number of conditions. I mean, I was menopausal because I was 50. So I was going through this hormone fluctuations, hot flushes, a whole gambit of things around that. I was under spiritual attack, so I was depressed, grieving, still grieving my mum, my sister. So just a whole gambit of things. And I had autoimmune weakness or vulnerability.
Yeah.
So I had quite a lot of different symptoms, from arthritis to early, like memory losses. Some people could, some people would say or classify it could be the symptoms that I had was such a gambit as early Alzheimer's. My father had Alzheimer's, so I was forgetting chunks of language. Like simple words, everyday words.
Wow. How long ago was that?
That was when I was 50, 7 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I started having these moments of inertia where you kind of, your mind leaves your mind, or you're in the room, but you're vacant.
Yeah, that sounds even mind-blowing itself. Your mind leaves your mind.
Yeah, and I didn't know what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
So you kind of get scared and you think, oh, I'm going insane, or I dreamed that, or I imagined that, or I didn't, or did that happen?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And of course, you don't tell people. You don't share and say, oh, I had this incident happen to me, Yeah. And it wasn't until I saw an advert of dementia. And you may have seen this advert. There was an advert where there's a guy sitting with all his family, and all the family are talking and stuff. Yeah. And then it shows you where he is.
Where he is mentally.
And he's in the wilderness, in a snowy setting on his own, and
So mentally he's in a different world. He's there with people, but mentally he's not present. Physically, he's not present. He's there with people, but mentally.
And then I got it. I said, that's what I've been experiencing. Because people were saying, oh, it's just your menopause. Yeah. The doctors always say everything is menopause. Anything is menopause. Take this pill, have these antidepressants. Yeah. I didn't want to take antidepressants. I knew a lot of my colleagues, lecturers, they have been living 5, 6, 10 years on
man-made medication.
Yeah, and working like, you know, very dull, very robotic life.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I just was getting every kind of sickness that was on the planet.
Yeah.
If it was a flu, if it was a, you know, just day after day, then my skin broke out.
Yeah. Usually people say, yeah, like, obviously the older you get, obviously your body starts to change certain things. And if you don't look after your body, obviously your immune system will start getting weaker, all of these things. So would you say personally for you that, like...
It wasn't natural wear and tear.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't natural wear and tear.
Yeah.
It was a build up. And the thing about the body, you know, the body and the mind and the spirit, they're one. One cannot be imbalanced.
Yeah.
Because it imbalances all of them.
Absolutely.
So no matter what I'd gone through, I'd always been super healthy.
Okay.
And so I'd never experienced sick. I've never had a broken leg as a kid. I've never been in hospital for illnesses.
Same here.
You know, I'm one of those that I just kept going and going and going. Yeah. So when I actually got to 50 and I could sit down post burying off my family members, my body collapsed and was like, this is it now. We can let go of all these things we've been holding back to allow you to achieve these things. And they all come up what appeared to be at once. But of course, they weren't. They were taking years to build up.
Yeah, this was a gradual build up over the years. Yeah.
And it was just one catalyst that then all of them surfaced at the same time. It was very dark, you know, and I was depressed and I was sick and getting more and more sick, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with me, so they're sending me for this test, that test. My stomach was really bloated. I looked like I was 9 months pregnant.
Wow.
Again, they were saying, oh, it's the hormones, it's your you know, menopause, it's just the time of the you know, all of these things. And I got fed up with it. I got fed up of them not knowing what was happening to me, of them just prescribing antidepressants for everything. They described antidepressants even for menopause. They give you that for menopause as well.
Wow. Obviously, I'm not a woman, so I would never know. Wow. I'm thinking, but even with that, I don't know why it is, but even me hearing you that, even though I'm not a woman, I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, so... everything was meds, or surgery that I had. All kind of things. Anyway, so I a lot of eating, digestion disorders. I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Yeah. Again, the doctors say, well, you're a woman of a certain age, and that's what happens naturally.
Yeah, they love to say that sometimes, doctors, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that kind of age, that's what happens.
They're saying, oh, we don't know why IBS comes, but actually, alternative doctors do. Yeah. You know, and it's all the processed junk food, burning holes in your stomach lining. Yeah. And allowing your stomach lining to give you leaky gut, and waste is leaking out into your system.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, so then your autoimmune system doesn't know what cells to kill, because all these different, you know, waste material is out in your body and attaching itself to different healthy cells.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So your immune system's going like, oh, is that healthy? Isn't it healthy?
Yeah.
And killing and eradicating or trying to cope with this overload of leakage. Yeah. And I would say there was a good decade that I probably had leaky gut. Quite a lot of damage.
A good 10 years.
A good 10 years, I would say. I was eating really unhealthy, just working, you know, focusing on everyone else except me. Yeah. And I probably was suffering from that because I had IBS. Yeah. For a good 10 years, like most of my late 30s through my 40s. And so that caused a lot of damage. So I had thyroid problems. Yeah. My thyroid was like massive on my throat. I had a big fat neck and a big thyroid there. that was growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I was just exhausted all the time. I was like, I'd aged in the 3 years between my mum's death and my sister's passing. I had aged 10 years, a whole decade had just come upon me. And psychologically, the minute you start feeling really bad, everything gets worse. So the minute psychologically I was feeling depressed and down, my health went down even lower. So it weren't just spiritual attack now. Physically, my body was fighting me, and my autoimmune system was fighting me. Crazy. Fighting myself. So that's when a friend that does a wellness health coach, a holistic health coach, and a friend Marilyn, she contacted me, and she had run into me and seen me. And was like, sister, you need to come on this wellness thing and do this detox, and it's fruit and salad. And...
At first, when she said that to you, what was going through your mind? Because obviously, sometimes I understand that when you're physically and mentally both ways attacked, obviously you're not mentally, you're not in the right place to think right, to make the right decisions sometimes. So when your friend approached you, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, she had approached me a year or two before, and I had flat rejected it, because I wasn't ready, and I wasn't open enough. But the time that she had approached me, then I was actually open, and I had been praying to God to give me answers and show me the light and lead me out of this tunnel. And so I was on the lookout for messengers. God's messengers. So I was looking for people that was coming in with a positive, and then that was her. So when she came in, and it was online, she sent me some post saying, here's a link, I'm going to do this detox thing for 21 days. And I was like, I'm in. So I jumped on that, and she introduced me to the health food revolution. That course wasn't really full. It weren't like a study course. It was like women getting together and talking about their issues, and her introducing us to material, sending us links to flip charts on food combining.
It's like taking baby steps into the actual program.
It was baby steps, and she weren't overloading us with information. She was giving us access to what's going on, and that there is a health food revolution, and this is what they're about. So when I first looked at it, I didn't think I'm going to be vegan. I'm going to give up meat. I thought I'm going to give it this detox a go and see if I can improve my health. And I'm going to read up more about this and see if there's other people that have these symptoms that I have. And I'm going to study this because the doctors don't know what's happening. So I've took things into my own hands. And so I done that course with Marilyn. She introduced me to a lot of stuff, and then I ran with it. And the food was an instant hit for me because on her program, she didn't have a food part. She just gave us links to... But I thought, okay, I'm going to really take it on my board to do the foodie part. So I went in and done a raw diet, and I went in really hard, strong, made all the mistakes you make when you don't know enough about something, but you jump on it.
You just, that's my personality as well. Just, literally, just jump. Just jump in and learn how to swim later.
Yeah, it's that immersive learning.
Literally, that's me. So literally you got straight into the dry.
And I started doing that, and within 3-4 months, I started seeing changes. So I had a bit more energy. I wasn't constipated all the time with IBS and difficult. My skin started clearing up, and I thought, this is just with food. I haven't actually changed any of my life yet, and I was still eating meat. I just increased raw food. And so, and then I thought, well, let's go a stage further. Let's give up some meat. Let's cut out that. And I never ever cut it out saying I'm cutting this out forever. I always was like, oh, let's just see. how this goes and how this goes.
That's
a
good way to look at it as well, you know.
Yeah, and so I thought, well, I didn't eat chicken. I hadn't eaten chicken for like 17 years because I was allergic to it. With the IBS, I had irritable bowel syndrome. So, and like a lot of funny foods that I couldn't eat would just swell me up.
Yeah.
And, you know, so chicken was one of them.
Wow.
So I hadn't eaten chicken for ages. So then I was like, well, let me give up the lamb. You know, let's give up the red meats. Cut them out. You know, didn't miss them. And got healthier. And shed a few more pounds. So you get that motivation. Because you're losing weight. And I wasn't exercising. The first 2 years of going plant-based, I did no exercise.
Yeah.
All my weight loss was down to just changing my diet.
Your eating diet, literally, your food.
Yeah, just my food. And just introducing home-cooked food. Like I say, I was weaning myself off. It took 2 years to go 100% plant-based. Some people go overnight. Yeah. Your prerogative, you know. Like I said, I never had the intention of going plant-based. I had the intention of healing. Yeah. And so it was one step. Will this work? Let's try it. Let's give up cheese. Yeah. Improvements. Okay, let's stay with not having cheese. You know what I mean?
Steady, gradual process, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it took me 2 years, and at the end of it, I'd shed 3 stone of the 4 stone. And I hadn't exercised. Yeah. So then I thought, I'm going to start exercising now. You know, and I was reading more and finding out more about different doctors on this alternative health food revolution and going online and connecting with other people. And then someone said, I started running like detox for other people. So freeze. Yeah. I just, you know, 3 day fruit juices only, you know, those kind of things, mono fruit diet, just bananas for 3 days.
Yeah. So do you think, because you know, like for me, because like we talk about programming, a lot of us have been, obviously, you know, growing up in whatever, we've been programmed in many ways. In many ways we've been programmed. And one of the things I think mentally that really scares people, I'm not going to lie, it scares, when I think about it, even though I'm sure I'm going to try it, but I'm thinking, imagine how that's going to be. Do you think, what for you personally, what do you think scares people in terms of like going on this on this fast and not eating nothing on this water fast? Because I feel like, you know, like over the years, a lot of people, everybody knows, once you get hungry, you eat, right? And once your belly rumbles, your belly eats itself away, all of these things. And I feel like certain people, I want somebody to be watching this to understand, to be like, okay, I can try that. What would you say to a person who right now, they would like to try it, they would like to try the water fast, but mentally they're still programmed thinking, I might die if I don't eat. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like kind of programming, and it's like
for everyone
to shift it. Yeah, like how did you and other people get through that barrier?
I didn't go straight to water fast. What I did initially is I did detoxes. Yeah. So I did like juice fasting. Okay. And mono fasting. Yeah. That kind of thing. Liquid fasting, so liquids only for 2, 3, 4 days. Yeah. Before I went into water fast. So I'd only done like 3 days of water fasting under my belt on my own. Yeah. And then someone recommended to go with Coop. Okay. Inspired by Coop or Coop DC. Yeah. So he does distilled water fast. Yeah. And I thought, I signed up for that. So I signed up for that 3 years ago, like January the 3rd. Yeah. And I started a water fast, and I intended to do it for 5 days to improve my 3 days that I'd done solo on my own. Okay. And I actually went for 7 days because of Coop, because of the group support, and because it was easier than my mind had imagined. Like, loads of things are, you know, when you don't know it, the fear is like, I'm not going to be able to do this. But absolutely, everyone can do it. Yeah. Everyone can do it. Everyone says, I won't be able to fast, I can't go without food. We all can. It's a natural, innate ability of mankind. Our bodies are built for scarcity, for when we don't have food. It's our bodies are not built for this society we live in where we got food on tap 24 hours. That's what we're not built for. Yeah. That's the fake life, the fake reality. Is that we are not built for 24-hour consumption.
These are the new programs that I feel like we need people to to understand and to do more research on and to get more familiar with them, because like you said,
it's like going back. It's going back to the way our ancestors ate and lived. Yeah. Okay, we're not going out hunting and gathering that kind of way, but we don't have to eat meat to get protein. In fact, protein comes from greens. So instead of eating the cow, go to the direct source, the plant.
The plant.
And get the plant-based nutrition.
Yeah.
That
cut out the middleman.
Yeah, and our bodies know how to break that down. There's coding. There's coding on all of our cells and on all of the cells of these plants. Our bodies codes know how to break down the plant's codes and know what properties to take and where to put it to use within your body. Yeah. You can't do that with processed food.
Processed food, meat.
That doesn't have natural coding, organic coding within it. And a lot of that food can't even break down because it's not food. It's anti-caking agents, it's clay, it's glue, it's whatever, food dyes, it's colouring, it's
artificial.
It's artificial stuff that actually a lot of it lingers and stays in our body, and our body can't break it down. And it starts clogging up our system on a very minute level, but that clogging builds up. There's loads of benefits to fasting that all those people that say, oh, I could never fast, until you do. It's just because you don't want to. Yeah. The thing is, the healing benefits from fasting, they're proven. They're not something that's new. This is going on hundreds of years.
Yeah, like you just said, from our ancestors.
Yes, from our ancient ancestors. Yes. Not even our immediate ancestors, our ancient ancestors. And they're living longer than us and healthier than us. Yeah. And they didn't have the diseases that we have today.
Yeah.
So...
You're a very intriguing woman, I have to say.
Thank you.
I don't even think we've been together for 2 hours, and honestly, you're a very intriguing woman, I have to say.
You.
Like, what country do you come from?
I'm actually from London. I'm a real Londoner. Yeah. I was born in East London, in Bowel.
And Bowel, okay,
Bowel. Yeah, Bowel. Bowel, yeah.
Yeah.
My parents, my mother Scottish, Glaswegian. And my father was West African, Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Is actually originally is a Liberian man.
Oh, okay.
Because he's crewman.
Yeah.
That's his tribe crew. Yeah. And they were from Liberia. But he was also raised in Sierra Leone, and all the family were. So we
amazing.
Sierra Leone as well.
Yeah. And was you born in this country as well?
Yeah, I'm born in this country. Oh, this is Sierra Leone.
Amazing. I love it. The entire look at that. Look at that. And you see, let's go back on. Let's fast forward here now. Like obviously, you've you've worked on yourself. You've healed yourself.
Yeah.
You've healed yourself. You've carried on eating healthy, working on yourself, making yourself a better person. When did you start? When did you think, you know what? Let me start going online to share my message and to help other people as well.
I think I started online almost as soon as I started, because the original course I did with my friend Marilyn Fontaine, by the way, the Wellness Woman course, that was an online course. So I did that on Facebook, and we had shared photos of smoothies and things that we'd been doing. Yeah. So although it was a private members group, I had shared quite a lot on my homepage. Yeah. And people were interested in it. So then I realised, people are interested in this. Then I'll share my journey. So then I made a little separate page and started sharing my journey. Yeah. And from that page, it started growing. And then someone said to me, look, your photos are so beautiful. You should go on Instagram. And then I went on Instagram. But and it's not that I'm not a techno person, but I'm not the generation that would spend a lot of time on their phones. So initially I was like, oh, I don't want to go on another platform. But Instagram, I love it. I do love Instagram.
Yeah, your Instagram page is amazing, man. Very, 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 very good, man.
Thank you.
And you see that, because I got this thing, I feel like, there's a lot of people, especially we are in the information age, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot, it's not like back in the days where, like, some people like to say you needed to go to a library or to read a book to get some information. I know a lot of people these days, they know better. You know what I mean? A lot of people know better, but it's like they still don't think, don't take action. Why do you think is that? Why do you think certain people know better, but there's a difference between knowing better and actually taking action? Why do you think, certain people are not taking action in bettering their, their...
You've got to want to improve.
Yeah.
You've got to want to improve. So a lot of people say they want to improve, but they're not willing to do anything about it. So it's that thing like every year setting, Christmas.
New goals.
This year I'm going to do this. I'm going to do... And they're not doing it, day 2.
Yeah.
And it's already finished, So, people have to really want it. Unfortunately, when it comes to your physical health, it's only when people get sick that they're now willing to take drastic actions. So I would say don't wait until you're sick, because then it's very extreme and it's harder to deal with. Already that you're overweight. You've been saying it for years. You want to lose that weight. The thing is, it's not about losing the weight to look better.
Yeah.
It's losing the weight so your body functions better. So your metabolism functions at a higher rate. So you don't have these blockages and visceral fat clogging up your arteries, and you're not going to die of these top 10 or top 4 diseases in the world that are killing people in their 30s.
Yeah.
I think my generation, we're actually lucky because in the 70s in London, there wasn't the high street like you see now.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we didn't have chicken shops. We didn't have all of those fast food things. There was no McDonald's until I was 10 years old, right? The only fast food shops were fish and chips, pie and mash, and if you went to airports, you might get KFC. And if you went on the motorway, you might get these kind of British coffee cafe type shops. Cafe.
Them cafes where you get like like, what do they call it, a fry up and things like that.
That kind of thing. And that was it. The shops weren't full of takeaway fast food restaurants.
Wow.
Most people ate at home. I don't know for the posh people, they might have went to posh restaurants, but local people, they ate at home. They didn't eat out. Your mum made everything. I know that in my family, cakes, biscuits and things like that, they were all made at home. They weren't things you just went out and bought in Poundland, 15 different packets of biscuits. No. It was shortbread biscuits, with a bit of salt in them and sugar on the top.
Over the years, mate, all of these takeaway shops in our communities, it's crazy, man. And I feel like, it's definitely made people, harder for certain people to think. Certain people to just overall it's a responsibility. It should be a personal responsibility, right? Like, somebody can put all of these things in our communities, but I feel like it should start with you first. You want to take care of yourself.
The programming is there. So this is the thing. A lot of our society, the way it's set up around food, is it makes you the guilty person. Yeah. So this is a lot of the programming that actually works against people when they want to lose weight. Yeah. Is that they say, oh, there's so many things in society that encourages us to feast.
Yeah.
You win something. Here's a treat. You won, so we're giving you a champagne and dessert and a cake. Everything is like reinforcing this idea of reward with food and it's usually an indulgent food. You know, no one's going, well, you won a prize, here's an apple.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, here's a big chocolate cake with you know.
Yeah.
And champagne and strawberries and all this kind of food.
Yeah.
So there's this thing of celebration and rewarding yourself and picking yourself up and avoiding emotion by eating to satisfy holes in our emotional life. So all of these things are going on in our head. We're reaching for the food not because we're hungry, but because we're programmed. And not only that, walking down the street, all these subliminal messages: eat, 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 food, 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 cheap food, here good food, delicious food, yummy food, food. Mentally, the program is there. It's going on. You can't look away. When you go out into nature and take a holiday and there's none of that, you see how quiet your mind is, how still your mind is when you walk in the countryside and there's not lights and all these food advertisements going on all the time. So that's there. You know, so people make themselves failures. You know, they go, I'm going on a diet. I used to do this. That's why I know it well. Yeah, I'm going on a diet. I'm going to cut out this fat. I'm going to cut out this sugar. I'm going to do. 3 hours into the diet, you're with some friends. They offer you a bag of crisps. You're eating the crisps. Oh, I forgot I'm on that diet. I'll start again tomorrow. Because now I've eaten the one bag of crisps. Yeah. Oh, well, to hell with me. It's to damnation. So now I might as well have a chocolate and I might as well have a pint and I might as well have a pie and chips and, you know, you just go on and on.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, like you've fallen off the wagon and you go a beast the other way. But then you beat yourself up. So the end of that feel good run, then you feel terrible. And you feel, I've got no self-control. What's wrong with me? And you make yourself the villain in this. Not the programming, not the, you know, all the other things that make us...
Your surrounding, all of these things. Sometimes even your family. It could be all
the
of these things.
Your life situation, the life that you're born into. You know, the you know, things that are stopping you and frustrating you in society. All of those things
For real.
Are things that we eat to eat.
Absolutely.
You know, to soothe ourselves. So we're turning to these things because we're finding other obstacles.
Yeah.
And ways difficult. So, but instead of dealing with them ways, sometimes it's easier to get the self-soothing. Yeah. Than to actually go to the root of the problem. But yet people make their self bad, and you're not bad. It's society. And there's all these people going, oh, it's only one cake. You only live once. Have that slice. Have that, you know, do that, do this, do that, do whatever you want. It's only one life. But actually, you do need to take control of what you're doing. And that comes down to education. We're being miseducated about food. When people fight with me about protein and where I get my protein, but they don't know any nutrition, what they need to have in their life. When I ask them, well, where you know, you get your protein obviously from meat, but where do you get all the rest of your minerals? Yeah. And the rest of the nutrition you need?
That's a good question.
Like, they don't even know it. They don't even know what it is. So what is a balanced meal? And they would tell you what they've been taught.
What they've been taught.
So they will show you their program. If it's meat and 2 veg, which is standard English, and that's from the 50s, you know, they think that that's a balanced meal. Overboiled veg, they don't know the difference between starch, carbohydrates, you know, all of these things, and mixing things and combined things. And what effect it has on them, because every individual is different.
Absolutely.
You know, we have different needs, we have different foods that we break down, different coding, different things we respond to. So you need to know what is going on with you and your body.
With your body.
Yeah. And the only way you will ever do that is if you take charge. And unfortunately, like I said before, people don't take charge until they're forced to. Until something goes wrong. You know, the ones that do take charge from an earlier age are the fitness fanatics. So they're already made strange at an early age because straight away we call them fanatics.
Yeah.
Because they're healthy and they choose health.
Yeah.
They're fanatics, you know. They're
From
always
the
in
get-go.
the gym, yeah. And we kind of dismiss that.
Yeah.
And dismiss that actually they're just choosing health.
Yeah.
Over unhealth. But we're making them strange.
Yeah. Fanatics.
Yeah. We're making them fanatical.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not fanatical. People start saying, I'm a fanatic now. I'm like laughing at that.
Oh, people
really
call you fitness fanatic?
Yeah. They're like, wow. You're all into that vegan food now, aren't you? The vegan food.
Yeah.
You're a fanatic. No, I'm not fanatic.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just making healthy choices that work for me and my vessel.
Perfectly said, that work for you and your vessel. Like you said literally a minute ago, it's like whatever works for all of us, it's like it's different stuff that works for us and you know, for our bodies and our immune system. So